So I think we'll do the speech, especially today, Thanksgiving, American, about to meet your families all over the world. I mean, I don't know, it's Christmas in Australia, we meet the families, we don't have Thanksgiving. And that's when we should do this meditation. So if you haven't got your family yet, this is your perfect start. So let's do the blessing the speech. Hello. Okay. So, okay, so let's just do the refuge first. Okay, that's good. So let's just get up. What's that? Can you hear somebody's voice in the background all the time? Can you hear that? No? Can you people hear that voice in the background? There's a strange voice. Can we fix it somehow, Lou?
Somebody has their microphone on.
Yeah, that's right, exactly, Dani. So, but everyone looks like it's everybody's muted. So anyway, we'll see. Okay. All right, people. Let's just get our body clear first. Body, remember, all the time, our body doesn't meditate. Because we're so addicted to our bodies and we identify with our body, we think our body is me, and this is our culture for sure. Then if we sit comfortably, we think, oh, I had a nice meditation, but it's ridiculous. You know, your mind meditates. The body's actually a hindrance. What we're finally wanting to do is to get to our subtler level of mind beyond the body. So, you know, nevertheless, we need the body to be in a conducive position. It's really important. So always it's good to start just to say the points, to remember. There's about 7 or 8 different points about the body. And all this is from the experience of the great yogis and yoginis of the past, you know. So the first one is the legs. And I always quote this too. It's nice to hear it. As His Holiness the Dalai Lama says, it's really auspicious if you can just even start your session for like a half a minute, you know, in what they call the full lotus position, which is each instep on the other thigh. And this is because this creates a cause for us for the future in the more advanced meditations when one needs to be in this position. And there's something about this because it's, you know, because first of all, because you can be stable. I mean, people can sit in meditation for days and weeks like this because you don't topple over. It's very practical, but also the subtler energies are aligned nicely, it seems, you know. But if we can't do that, of course, don't worry. Do half lotus, and if you can't do that, ordinary cross-legged. And if you can't do that, sit in a chair. But if we're in a chair, it's important not to slump in the chair. It's important to hold up your body like you would be if you were cross-legged. So have your feet firmly on the ground and sit upright. Hold up your own body. It's important, even just for 30 minutes like this. So then what happens when we hold up our body, when we sit upright, we get tense. We tense the muscles. So keep the body upright, but relax the muscles, okay? They don't mention it in the points, but we squeeze our abdomen very tight. Relax the muscles. They mention the shoulders. So this is the legs, you know, your back upright, your shoulders. So have your shoulders upright, but relax the muscles. Your hands in the meditation mudra in your lap, left underneath, right on top, thumbs touching, forming a triangle. And then the head, slightly tilted forward. If you have your head thrust back, you get agitated, you know. Slightly tilted forward, chin tucked in a bit. Jaw relaxed, lips slightly apart. And then the tongue behind the top teeth, just near the palate. And this, it seems, for the great yogis, the experience of the yogis and yoginis is that it means you don't need to swallow your spit and you don't dribble if you're meditating a long time. So all these points are from practical experience. And then your eyes looking down under your eyelids. Great yogis can keep their eyes open because they're not distracted. And that keeps the light coming in, which makes the mind very sharp. But you do what you can. But the eyes looking down, as if you're looking along your nose towards the ground. So settle into this position. You feel it's very natural. Don't get all holy. Oh, I'm meditating. Just be very natural. So if you've taken an empowerment, you visualize. We first meditate. We first take refuge. There's a little prayer here. I take refuge in the 3 jewels, the 3 rare sublime ones. May I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. I take refuge in the 3 jewels. May I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. Tronchog, Sumla, Kyabsuchi, Drola, Penchir, Sangye, Shog. So now, if you've taken empowerment, you manifest out of emptiness as a deity. And if not, then you visualize Buddha above your crown. Okay? Just imagine Buddha there, facing the same way as you, sitting very beautiful with his golden light body. Just feel the presence of enlightened energy right here. So now, just before we start, let's contemplate, why should we do this kind of weird little meditation, basically reciting the Sanskrit syllables? You know, what's the point? It's got to be logic to it. Well, you know, this is based on the Vajrayana model of the universe and how we're constructed. We've got gross consciousness, which is our sensory consciousness. And then we have, of course, logically, it's inextricably linked to our gross body. This is clear. But then we have subtle consciousness, which is referred to as subtle. And actually, that's our mental states. Our mental states, all our thoughts and feelings and emotions. That's actually more subtle. And that is inextricably linked, this is the point now, to this subtle physical energy. And this is, like I always mention, this is the same model that Tibetan doctors use. There's this intimate relationship between, so this subtle physical energy is these 72,000 subtle channels, like a subtle nervous system, throughout your entire body. It's not, you can't see it with a microscope, but it's subtle physical. And then coursing through those channels, all this different prana or wind energy. This is the same as the Chinese system, but similar to the Ayurvedic. Not the same as the brain model, obviously. And then inextricably linked with all these wind energies going through your channels are your different states of mind, your mental states. So when your Tibetan doctor feels your pulses, she'll feel an imbalance of certain wind energy, and she knows that's related to your attachment or your anger, or whatever it is. You know, it's very, very precise. So body and mind are inextricably linked, the gross level and the subtle. So the thing is, so in Tantra, in the Vajrayana, sound, and it's words, isn't it? Sound, the purest sound is Sanskrit. They say that. And all the mantras, this combination of Sanskrit syllables, you know. Tibetans have never tried, you can translate them, but they always keep them in Sanskrit. They don't translate them, they keep them in Sanskrit. So by purifying so by saying these pure syllables, you are purifying both your mind and the wind energies, which is your subtle physical. And then karmically, that produces a future healthy bodies. And it's linked to the grosser level, you see, karmically. So there's logic to it. One has to understand the model first, of course. Not just some mystical thing. So sound is mantra. Sound, the purest sound is mantra. This is why one of the many practices related to our speech, in order to get pure speech, appropriate speech, useful speech. I mean, we need our speech to be useful. We need people to believe our words. We need people to trust us. We need people to want to listen to us. This is so important. And speech is the method we use in our culture. We clever humans, you know, all our clever concepts expressed as sounds. So we need to purify. So there's different ways of developing what they call the power of speech. This is the main gift of the Buddha, such that any sound they utter is useful, appropriate, wise, compassionate, and powerful, useful. We need this in our daily lives badly, not to mention more advanced levels. So one way is to be silent. Don't say those bad words, which is our commitment for today. Don't open the mouth. Don't say those words. That's it. That's a real discipline. That's one way to get good speech. The other one is to do things like this, say mantras and do purification practices. It's very powerful. So, okay. We now visualize, we now imagine these very creative meditations here. Can you just scroll the page down a bit, Lou? Lou, can you scroll the page, please? What happened to Lou? Okay, people. Check your body. Be steady. And then contemplate these concepts now. So think, now visualize. On your tongue, you imagine there's an R, Roman letters AH, if you don't know Sanskrit or Tibetan. Just imagine this sitting on top of your tongue, upright. Now this R turns into a moon disk, like a flat white cushion on your tongue. And then on top of that, on the moon disk, you visualize a white Om standing upright in the center. And now we're going to imagine the different syllables, surrounding it. And of course, we don't know the letters most likely. So you just have to imagine, okay? First of all, there are all the white vowels going around the Om clockwise. Okay, just imagine on your tongue. And then imagine the red consonants going counterclockwise. And then finally, the third one, the blue letters of the heart mantra of dependent relation, which is how Rinpoche talks about the mantra of dependent arising. So all of these are blue clockwise. So the white Om on the moon disk, the white vowels clockwise, red consonants counterclockwise, blue syllables of the dependent related heart mantra clockwise. Imagine all this. So now we imagine light beams go out from all these syllables in their colors out to the entire universe. They talk about the 10 directions: north, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, and up and down. That's 10. Hooking, what it does, goes all the way out to the universe and hooks the energy of the power of speech of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, the yogis, all the great practitioners, even just good people practicing, living in vows and things like that, hooks the energy of this powerful speech. And it all comes back, and then there's now the light beams containing the energy of all the holy beings, and the energy of the pure speech returns back into the syllables on our tongue, making them radiant, beautiful and radiant and full of the power of all the holy beings of the universe. Imagine that. So now we recite it. Scroll down now. That's it, right there. Okay, so now we recite the syllables. As you can see, the first lot, the vowels, is the common pronunciation, just on the bottom there of the page. As we say these syllables, we visualize powerful white nectar dripping down from these letters up and down, filling us completely, and this time purifying our body, purifying all the sickness and the pain and the misery of this wretched old body that sometimes is so difficult, isn't it? It dominates our lives. But also, particularly, especially, purifying all the karmic imprints of all the actions we've ever done with our bodies since beginningless time to harm sentient beings. Because everything we think and do and say stays in the mind. It gets imprinted, it gets planted, it sows a seed. So we're imagining purifying all these karmic seeds, annihilating them, this radiant white nectar completely filling us, totally purifying the body, making it healthy, and purifying all the negativity of the actions of our bodies since beginningless time, as we recite the mantras, the syllables. Om, a, I, u, ri, li, li, e, o, ang, swaha. Om, a, I, u, ri, li, li, e, o, ang, swaha. Om e u ri li o ang swaha. Imagine your body totally purified, healthy, light, and crucially, because all the imprints are gone, now imagine only possible to use your body to benefit others. I mean, when you're a Buddha, that'll how it will be. And you can imagine, I have the wish, the thought, whoever sees me, whoever touches me, tastes me, smells me, may they benefit just from the presence of my body. May I be able to benefit every one of these sentient beings. Imagine this, full of this nectar, this potential. So now we visualize the red nectar coming from the consonants, filling our entire body, and this time purifying our speech, purifying, even if we don't necessarily say negative things or do the 4 actions, but just feel confused, not sure what to say, worry about what we say the wrong things, no confidence with our speech. Imagine all of that's purified, and then imagine all the imprints of everything you've ever said with our speech. And this is humans, of course, our clever humans, since the beginning of this time, that we've done with our speech to harm others. That means saying words that aren't true. And even if we don't lie, I always say this, because we're so eager to talk, we're so eager to give answers to things and look as like we know what we're talking about. Half the time we're speculating. We're not even certain. And even in the simplest things, we're not certain if we're correct, So we just blur out what we feel. So all the lying and the speculating, all the harsh speech, abusing people, swearing at people, shouting at people, being mean to people, all the bad mouthing behind backs, which we love to do. We do that all day, talking about politicians, our family, the next door neighbor, the people we read about in the news. We're always giving opinions about people when they're not there, especially close family and things that create such disharmony. And then all the rabbiting on about nothing, idle talk. I mean, that makes us a bit nervous because we think we can't say anything. But of course, if you want to be helpful, you can say, today, you be kind to people. Hello, how are you? Isn't it nice weather? Blah, blah, blah. You can talk, but out of kindness to others, conscious talk, Otherwise, just blur, rabbiting on, useless, boring everybody. And speech is our main way. I mean, we don't go around killing and stealing from too many people. It's our speech that makes the trouble, and it's our speech that can be beneficial. So imagine as we recite these syllables, this red nectar, feeling us completely purifying all this nonsense and all the imprints of all the actions from the past, totally purified. Om ka 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 ganga cha 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 nya ta 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 da na ta ta da da na pa pa ba ba ma yara lava sha sha shaka. Oh, it's different. Sha 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 haksa svaha. Om ka 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 ganga cha 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 janya ta 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 da na ta 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 da na pa pa ba ba ma yada lava sha 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 haksa svaha. That's, I think, when they say common, it means the Tibetans, and they've got their own style. Of course, that's how lamas say it, but I can't hear those ones, so just follow the first lot. Om ka 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 ganga cha 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 janya ta 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 dana ta 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 dana pa 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 ba ma yada lava sha 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 haksa svaha. Full of this red nectar, totally purified. Imagine all the negativity gone. How amazing. But also, crucially, think now, whatever comes out your mouth, even just good morning, even just your laugh, imagine this will benefit whoever hears you. As Lama Zopa says, you can, just by your words, you can subdue people's emotional suffering, kind words, useful words. We know how powerful it is. One person saying one kind word can make such a difference. So have this thought, this wish. And remember, speech and body in relation to the bodhisattva path, this is for the benefit of others. Your body, what you do with your body is for the sake of who's around, and what you do with your speech is for the benefit of whoever hears you. It becomes the action of a bodhisattva, the actions of the Buddha. This is what we want. Not just blurting out what we feel, Not like that. It's very powerful. So full of this blissful potential, full of this red nectar. Whoever hears you, all the creatures, the birds, the humans, they'll be benefited just by the sounds that come out of your mouth. How amazing. So now, the mind, we purify the mind, which is the source of all the problems and the source of our liberation. So now we recite the syllables of the heart mantra of dependent arising, dependent relation. And this is going to we imagine it purifies the ego grasping, the root delusion, the belief in the intrinsic me, and then the attachment to get what that me wants, and then aversion, the panic attack of aversion, upset, irritated, annoyed, frustrated, anger, and eventually depression, all this build-up. All of this, and then all the other rubbish, all the low self-esteem and the confusion and the jealousy and all this business, all of it imagined, totally purified by this radiant blue nectar, kind of blue, not totally dark blue, but kind of like the sky, but kind of a bright blue of the sky, totally filling us and totally purifying our minds instantly, annihilating all the delusions as we say the syllables. Om ye dhamma hetu pabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevadat teshan chayo nirodha evam vadimaha shamana yesvaha. Om ye dhamma hetu pabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevadat teshan chayo nirodha evam vadi shamana yesvaha. Om ye dhamma hetu pabhava hetun teshan tatagato yavadat teshan chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye svaha. Now imagine full of the blue nectar and your mind purified. So if all the think about this, if all the delusions have gone, then you have to think what's left. This is the point. Your virtues, people, your virtues, your wisdom, your clarity, your kindness, your love, your compassion, your generosity, your forgiveness, your patience. These are at the core of our being. This is Buddha's unbelievable point that underpins all his path. Delusions are adventitious. Delusions, because they're misconceptions, have no basis in reality. And therefore, they can be removed from the mind. And the virtues, which are in sync with dependent arising, which is reality, are at the core of our being. These are who we are. This is amazing. So feel full of the virtues, full of your true nature. Kindness, compassion, generosity, forgiveness, courage, self-confidence. Amazing. This radiant blue nectar. So now we imagine all the blue syllables on our tongue absorb into the red consonants. The red consonants dissolve into the white vowels. And the white vowels dissolve into the white Om. And then the Om dissolves into the moon cushion. And the moon turns into an Ah. And now the Ah melts and it becomes pink nectar. And that absorbs into your tongue. And it becomes, as Rinpoche says, go back, please. Yeah, that's right. That it becomes Vajra nature, which means indestructible. The way Rinpoche talks, it becomes indestructible. Whatever you say is powerful. It can't be diminished by eating, by rubbish, by, and it can only be powerful and beneficial. And strengthens the power of your speech, makes it more useful, strengthens the power of your mantra. These are technical points, not just some mystical things, it's technical, all based on this understanding of how karma works and the Vajrayana way we're constructed. It's very fascinating. So now you imagine whoever hears you will be benefited. This is something that's so marvelous to hear. Sometimes we feel so hopeless. What can I do to help the world? Just be humble. Help who's ever there. There's one ant. You say mantra and you bless the ant. Right there, you've done something useful. We don't have to be Mother Teresa running off to change the world. Help sentient beings right there, just with your speech. So beneficial, I tell you. So today, if you're going to be going, if you've got American, you've got family, this is something you make a powerful decision right now. I'm going to watch my speech like a hawk. And the reason the speech gets agitated and vomits out is because the mind's uncontrolled. So that means also decide, let your family be. Let them be who they are. Your crazy mother, your demented father, your wacky sister. Just mind your own business. Give them a break, okay? Step back. Know that you're going to be there for a few days, a few hours, a few weeks, or days, whatever it is. And you just decide, I'm there for their benefit. Relax. Keep yourself, just be yourself in yourself and just relax. I'm there for their sake. So what you show with your body and what you say with your speech, it should be useful. You should make them feel good. This is a job to do. They say, when you're with others, you watch your body and your speech. And then when you're on your own, you can have the luxury of watching your mind, We know when you make a decision is when you do something. Feel that you're in charge. And just accept everybody for who they are. Let them be. Give them a break. So we dedicate this 30 little minutes. Sweet little prayer. At the bottom there. May my tongue sense base have all the courage of the ones gone to bliss. By the magnificence and power of my words, may all sentient beings be subdued, and may all the meanings of whatever words I say be accomplished. Changchu, Semcho, Rinpoche, Ma Kie Panam Ke Guchi, Kie Panyam Pa Me Pa Yang, Gongne, Gongdu, Falvashog. Well, that's it, dear people. Okay. Happy to see you all. So I think this is my month over, but I'm going to be doing another class. I'm going to cross over to Sundays. I think I've got another lot of classes coming this next month, December. Yeah. Okay, dearest people. Thank you so much. Much love, everybody. Thank you, Lou. Much love, everybody. Keep moving, never give up, and make your speech. Relax about your speech. Okay. Bye.
Thank you all.